One of the things that I learned doing Zoom meetings is I will start and stop the record several times because that does help us all out. One, you don't get a huge long recording and you're going, well, we did that about halfway through, so I have to scroll through halfway through. And I'll usually tell you when I start and stop recording. And I do that particularly when I do want the announcements, like what's due, and that's what we're going to do here, start first. And then I will do, if I work example problems, I usually do each individual example problem recorded separately, and then I introduce the lab recorded separately. So I'm going to hit I've got my recording going here, and I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. And you should actually see, I have a double screen in here, so I've actually shared the whole screen. And hopefully you all will see that I'm going to go ahead and expand this so I can see most of you. I will also monitor the chat. So if you have a question and you want to pop into the chat, that's totally fine as well. And it usually takes me about a day to get lectures posted. So when we go through our Zooms posted. So I know we had kind of a short meeting last week because I knew I would still have students coming into class as of Friday. And now we have our cohort, which is great. And there's some nice things in Blackboard Ultra that will allow you to actually navigate and work with your classmates a lot better. And I've actually set up some things so hopefully you can get study groups going and get different folks out there, because physics is better learned with a partner, because some people look at the problem one way, some people look at the problem another way, and it really does help. So let me get our other person in here. So this is what you will see when you open up in Blackboard Ultra. I think I've had everybody complete the student contract. Thank you very much. But when you come down, this will tell you if there's a question. If you get this blue dot, it'll tell you if there's a question in the technical stuff, and that one has just popped up, so I will look at it and respond to it later. But you guys can also respond to it. Maybe you can solve it and see it faster than someone else. Just so you guys know my habits, I usually am up very early in the morning and I try to respond to things. Responses after 3 p.m. in the afternoon are a little iffy. I crater at about 3 in the afternoon, but I do get ready for this class and I do some other evening things, but I don't necessarily respond to my email very quickly after 3 o'clock. I will also let you guys know when I am traveling so that you know that I'm going to be a little late in responding. Tomorrow, I am headed off to an American Chemical Society leadership meeting. So I'll be on a plane all morning and I'll be returning on Sunday, and I'll be in meetings a lot of the time on Friday and Saturday. So I'll probably be a little later to respond, but I try to respond pretty quickly. And if I don't respond within 24 hours, holler at me. Send me another email, because it's possible. I try to maintain a zero inbox, but sometimes an email just gets missed and I didn't quite get it. It's not that I'm trying to ignore you, or it could possibly be email gremlins and it just doesn't get through to me. The messaging feature in Blackboard Ultra is working quite nicely. And when you look at that, that's this feature right here. So when you're in Ultra, you want to email me, you can click right there and send it directly to me. So it's very helpful for that messaging feature. And I think I've already responded to several of you via the messaging feature. We are going to start the Introduction to Physics in Motion. We're also going to cover our first laboratory tonight. And so that will get that information going, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I do want to point you to the tools and resources. In here, we will use the IO laboratory, and I'll show you one of those in just a little bit. But we also will be using the iFox application on smartphones. And this will get you a link to the smartphones. If you do not have Microsoft Office yet, or need to get Microsoft Office, you can do so. And here are some instructions how to access Microsoft Office. And I'll walk you through that here shortly. This is an additional textbook. This is a free textbook. So if you're having trouble with some of the math concepts and want to go back to an algebra or a trigonometry text, you can go right there and get a trigonometry text. Similarly, some people like to look at other physics textbooks, and these are free. So these textbooks are totally free, and you can go in there. And when it comes to certain things and certain problems as we go in further into the semester, I might even reference specific sections in those textbooks for you. So that will help. This is another folder. Your first lab is utilizing graphing in Excel. So I have some helps on graphing in Excel. This is some of our laboratory resources that we have. Here is a laboratory memo template in Google Docs. Here is a laboratory memo template in Microsoft Word. And this is a laboratory example. And I have this elsewhere as well. So it's in a couple of different places. I have trouble finding it. And then this is the video analysis tool, and we will be working with that tonight, but that gives you a place to look for it. So that's for our laboratory resources. So there's another one. I had someone ask in the weekly survey, and yes, I look at those weekly surveys because that's how you all are going to drive what my lectures will be. I have a lot of recorded material that you can take in snippets, and I've had a person ask, well, which ones should I really watch and which ones are extra? And we'll talk about that tonight as well. But this is a trig reference sheet, and it has a lot of the information that you need from trig is in there. This has an extra handbook that you may or may not want to use. There's the video analysis tool in a different spot, again, making it a little easier to find. This is Firefox. It's the app that we're going to be using. So there's one, that's an article. This is the link to the app that we will be using. I've included for everyone, if you've been listening to what's happening in the news and how the Harvard president essentially had to resign over plagiarism. And I wanted to make sure that people had information about plagiarism, because what's getting a little fuzzy, it's not just direct quotes, it's paraphrasing without proper citations. And I really want to start getting everybody into referencing their material correctly so that you're in the practice, so that you don't get down the road and find out that you've plagiarized something. I did a video because I'd had several people ask questions about how do I approach a problem in physics. And so I have done an extra video here that's working with word problems and a general problem solving strategy. This one does it with a conversion problem in there, but it does go through our textbooks problem solving strategy. And so I've given you an extra little video to help with that. And I've been trying to make little videos. So if somebody asks a question, I've been trying to make a video that's related to that question, because if you have that question, generally someone else does. And one of the best rules for success in this class is ask questions early. And we'll talk a little bit about how to ask a good question, because I had an experience this week where I thought I was answering the person's question, but we weren't on the same homework assignment. And that made a little bit of a difference. So I know that person was getting frustrated because it was like, I think I've told you what I want you to help me with, but you keep referring to something else. And it's because we were looking at 2 different homework assignments. So that's one thing that's out there. I'm trying to model that plagiarism reference, and this is the image references for my images that I am using, because those are things that are out there that are very important. And I am learning and working with artificial intelligence. And so a lot of my images will be generated by artificial intelligence, and I'm going to tell you which ones are. And I will also give you the prompts. So I'll stop for a second here, make sure everybody's with me, and then we'll start diving in on a couple of those questions that I said I would help you guys with. All right, not seeing a hand raised, not seeing anything in the chat. We'll go from there. Okay, to get Microsoft Word and Microsoft Office, if you will go to the NOC website, and from the home page, if you click on Information Technology, it will take you to the Information Technology board. This is also very, very useful for Blackboard help. Of course, I'm in Ultra, but here, if you click on that Blackboard help, you can actually work with the chat. And so you can actually work with a chat, you can actually call, you can get some general information, and that is our Blackboard support number. So if you're having trouble with Blackboard specifically, this is where you can go for help. So I wanted you to know that that was something that you could do. This right here is the Save on Software and Technology Products. If you click on that, it takes you to where you can access your Microsoft Office 365. And it just occurred to me that you probably don't have another tool. Okay, I want to make sure that tool is there. If not, I will post it after class. It is not. So I am going to do a search, because this is another really cool tool that you guys are going to want to use. I've been using the Cam Scanner app since like 2010. So I've been using it for a long time. And it's under Cam Scanner. If you click on this, it will take you to the Cam Scanner access. It will work for iPhones. It works for Android phones. If you log in with your NOC or your school Oklahoma State email and use your student email, they will give you the professional version for a year. And it is a lovely app. It is a really good app, and this will make it easy for you to scan in documents, scan in pictures. And I will warn you that sometimes if you're using a photograph or a picture from your camera on the iPhone, sometimes Blackboard doesn't like it, and it's a little more difficult for me to see it. So you may want to scan it as a PDF. And this Cam Scanner app works really, really well. And you can download it, and if you register with your student email, it gives you some of the premium features. And as you can see, it gives you, you can rotate your documents. It helps you to convert PDF to Word. So it's a really good app. So and I will also put this link in to our Blackboard. I just realized that I didn't have it on there. All right. So that gets you how to find stuff. We're going to start here, Introduction to Physics in Motion. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to stop my recording, and I'm going to start my recording again.